Are you one of those that keeps seeing repeating numbers and you're questioning what the heck do they mean? Why am I seeing these numbers over and over again? Why do I see 111 all the time? Why do I see 333 all the time? What is this all about, Anne? Let me help you to understand this. Numerology observes the philosophy that all numbers hold vibrations, unique vibrations for each number from 1 to 9. So vibrations are going to produce predictable characteristics or outcome around them. So really, learning numerology is simply learning how to speak numbers. It's a language. And all you really need to do is to be able to interpret the numbers, the positive and the negative sides to each number from 1 to 9. That's it. Each number is going to hold a vibration that is very unique and can be interpreted. When we see repeating numbers like 444, 1111, 33, 33, these are codes, okay? In the case where these numbers are repeating themselves, the 444, for example, this relates to triple the intensity of the lesson or the message related to the number 4. So the number related to the number 4 is about being disciplined, being focused, having a plan, and being, solid in your work ethic. When we look at 1111, this is 4 times the need to be independent, to be creative, to be driven, to be competitive, to create something new and unique and authentic, okay? So each number, as I said, does hold a code, and we can interpret the code when we understand all of the numbers from 1 to 9. Now, for example, when we think of the number 1, we immediately think of the words leader, driven, successful, being a winner, competitive, new beginnings, independent, something authentic and original. And this is the vibration that number gives off. This is the vibration that people read from the energy of the number 1. But before you can understand what the repeating numbers are trying to tell you, you need to learn how to interpret the numbers from 1 to 9, because those are the codes, okay? Every number that we see, 257, 134, 592, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's a code, and they can be cracked. And it's so interesting when you understand the positive and the negative sides of each number, and I'll show that to you here in a second. So let's talk about 1, 2, 3. All right, just give an example, 3 different numbers. The 1 is all about encouraging you to plant some new seeds in your life. Believe in your ability to create something new, something authentic and original. Be confident in your efforts. Number 2 says, pay attention. Your intuition is at an all-time high, so you've got to be patient. Things will develop the perfect timing for you, divine timing for you. New relationships are possible, so you want to pay attention to special relationships in your life. This is a great time for romance. It's a great time for partnership. It's a great time for collaborating with someone else, right? Working together. And the number 3 relates to expressing yourself. Maybe you want to write that book that you've always wanted to do, create a blog. You could paint, you could draw, you can redecorate your home, get into some creative stuff there. Pay attention to opportunities that are inviting you to be social. Remember, the number 1 is all about number 1, okay? The 2 is all about number 1 plus another person, so it's about partnership. And when we get into the 3 relates to the social circle, okay? Now, let's do an interpretation here. 132. Let's say this is a repeating number that you're seeing over and over again. So the 1 says, start something new already, right? And the 3 says, and when you start something new, you want to express yourself, put yourself in social situation where you can share your new ideas in a social environment. And the 2 says, pay attention to your intuition, because whatever your gut is telling you to create is likely a very good thing. You want to pay heed to the nudge, right? Be patient in pursuit of this new idea. Now, another way to interpret the number 132 would be to say, for the number 1, stop being so self-centered. This is the opposite of being a good leader. Okay, this is the negative side of the 1, and that could be expressing itself. So when you're trying to interpret the number that you keep seeing repeatedly, you need to really look at it. You have to interpret it your way. There is no point in going to a website to find out the interpretations of all the angel numbers and whatnot. I'm not really a big fan of that, to be honest. There's a certain degree of truth to it, and it might give you a little bit of guidance, but really you have to know the numbers and you have to be able to interpret them in the way that serves you. You know what you're going through. You know what you're struggling with. And the numbers will speak to you if you understand how to interpret them. So the number one, like I said, it's stop being so self-centered, possibly. Stop being so dominant. Stop being whatever the opposite is of the positive side of the one. Stop doing that, right? We look at number three and it says, get focused. Stop wallowing in self-doubt. The three will often bring in the negative self-critic, right? So we want to make sure that that critic isn't sitting on our shoulders, whispering in our ears that we're not good enough. Quit looking to others for validation. Look within yourself. Validate yourself. You know how great you are. This is the opposite of being focused and self-confident, of course. And when we look at the number two, it's asking us to stop being overly sensitive. The two is all about sensitivity. Now, the positive side of the two says, I can be sensitive and I can be a partner and I can be a peacekeeper and I can be a collaborator. But the negative side of it is if Spirit's trying to reach out to you to say, knock it off, that too might mean stop being overly sensitive. Stop being so codependent, right? That's the opposite of being balanced and secure in yourself, which is that positive side of the number two. All right. At the end of the day, my belief is it is your message to be interpreted in the way which feels best for you. Okay. Nobody knows what's going inside of you better than you do. So when you're looking at that repeating number, be flexible in how you interpret it. Like, it's always great to think this is a really warm and fuzzy message, but it could be a slap in the wrist saying, you know what, smarten up. You're being too codependent or you're being too obstinate or too driven or whatever, too competitive. You know what's going on. So when you understand the value and the vibrations of each of the numbers, you can crack the code and really understand what the heck it is that Spirit's trying to tell you. All right, if you want to learn more, I've got all kinds of resources for you. I have my resource page on AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Check it out. There's all kinds of really cool stuff on there. I've got my Facebook group on Facebook, of course. It's Ann Perry Professional Numerologist. I have my YouTube channel. I'd love it if you'd subscribe and follow and maybe give me a thumbs up occasionally. That would be amazing. And I also have my Clarity Seekers community, and that's where everybody's hanging out right now because, heck, who knows what's going to come up next? The world's a little shaky right now, so we're all in there kind of supporting each other and raising our vibrations and learning so much. It is ridiculously fun in there, so I hope that you'll check that out. Okay, guys, I want to keep this short and sweet today. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.